Like a child doesn't. What is that analogy that he gives? Like a child doesn't believe that he can eat ice cream. He wants to eat the ice cream, so he will eat the ice cream. He simplified it so much. Like that is what spirituality is about. Like wanting not even spirituality, but understanding yourself. I think. Let's not make it another external thing. Let's make it more internal now. Self-realization.
You can start, I guess.
We can start.
Yeah.
Okay. Namaste. Hello and welcome to everybody who is tuned in for our conversation today. I am your host, Tanya Maniktala, and I would like to extend my very, very warm welcome and gratitude to Brother Rishi Ranjan for joining us in this conversation today and for sharing with us his insights and his wisdom. Thank you, Rishi Bhaiya.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you so much.
Rishi Bhaiya has been working as a general manager, India head for a multinational cloud services company. He is a heartfulness trainer and has been practicing heartfulness meditation for 28 years now. Wow. He has been learning about the deeper aspects of spirituality and reality from the spiritual master and global guide of Sahaj Mark, Kamlesh D. Patel, whom we also fondly refer to as Daji. Rishi Bhaiya has given various talks on topics of spirituality every day on Radio City for the program Shanti Sutra. Amongst many other ventures, Rishi Bhaiya has also conducted several meditation camps across India where thousands of seekers have sought the benefits of meditation. Thank you again for joining this conversation, Rishi Bhaiya. Today, we'll be expanding on a conversation that we witnessed last time with Sister Elizabeth Denley and Kamya about the Heartfulness Way Book 2, which I have right here and have been in the middle of reading. This book, very simply put, authored by, of course, Daji, um talks about simple methods that you can adopt on an everyday basis to not just transform yourself, but I think to elevate yourself to your highest potential. And I think that's exactly what we'll be getting right into. I am still in the middle of reading this book, Rishi Bhaiya, and I know you've probably gone through it, I don't know, like hundreds and millions of times already. So my number one, I think, question is there is definitely a lot that Daji is talking about in the most simplified ways. He's talking about the heartfulness practices of meditation, cleaning, and prayer. Um, and obviously, there are these three techniques, but there is something that echoes through all of these chapters about meditation, about your everyday, about spirituality, I would like to say. So, could you maybe expound on that?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Tanya, sister. Thank you so much. And very warm welcome to all dear listeners. Maybe now, maybe later. Now, beautifully, this book, The Heartfulness Way to by Daji, in conversation with Sister Elizabeth. Uh, if you read, and I've been thinking through, right, in the starting itself, there is a statement. It says, philosophy is thinking, yoga is doing, realization is undoing.
Yeah.
Now, I've been going through the chapters, and if I see these 10 chapters, they will lay out a beautiful journey which takes us from thinking to doing to undoing. This book is not, it's about understanding, but as we flow through the book, it is all about awakening. Often we feel we are trapped into the limitedness because we think ourselves as waves. This book is all about ocean coming and talking to waves. How does this book flows through? It starts with the chapter called belief. We all are, life is nothing but is a story which we are telling to ourselves. This story is based on belief. This story is based on my knowledge and awareness at that point of time. The story changes. If this story changes, then this story may not be that real. This chapter on belief creates that openness in our heart, the same openness which Arjuna had for Krishna in the first chapter of Gita. Unless we are open from inside, remaining chapters will still remain ignorant. So we are open from inside, open to learn, open to transform, open to break our limitedness. Because belief has a factor of unknowing. If we know, we don't need to believe. How do we know? And that's what Daji has beautifully explained through experience. And he has said we can experience God through osmosis and empathetic resonance. Just feel the word osmosis. If we touch any hot thing, we feel hot. If we touch any cold thing, we feel cold. What if we are able to touch the same source and purity in our heart? The osmosis starts. We start feeling those qualities inside. And through osmosis, we come to know. Now, with this belief, Daji has the second chapter of the journey starts. What is this journey all about? If we see this journey currently, which we are having, is all about moving away from pain and miseries. Daji gives a very beautiful example. He says, moving away from pain and miseries is not going to the extreme, is about again finding that balance which is lying inside us. The moment we restore that originality, the condition in us, the pain and miseries, they disappear. He expounds a beautiful direction of the goal and journey. He says, the soul is the source in which there is potentiality. In that potentiality, there is consciousness. Through the consciousness, there is energy, and the energy through the matter. The whole journey is going subtler and subtler and subtler till we merge into the same subtlety of ourselves. Now, with this journey and destination, we need to generate and cultivate some attitude because it's our inner disposition which will take us more inside. What are those inner attitudes and approaches? One, of course, is the topmost is interest. If we are really interested, the whole universe will come and support us. The whole, our dharam kshetra, everything around us will see magically starts transforming to support us towards what we are interested in. As if we are one of the instruments of nature who have started marching towards the source itself. With this approach and attitude, now we are ready. Now we are ready to receive the divine impulse. Daji writes beautifully in the next chapter of Love and Support, saying, if we are ready to receive the divine impulse, even though unconscious, the master who can give us the divine impulse seems to appear by chance. Now we have love and support of a guide and a master around us who will handhold us and take us on to this journey. What happens next? When the master appears, there are methods of tools and trainings which comes. Now we have wonderful transmission, practice in our meditation, which always holds on to us from inside. Even if we deviate, it holds on to the central place. We have beautiful practice of cleaning and prayer, which helps us in further refining ourselves. What happened next? In this process, our faith and trust starts growing. That's the next chapter. Faith and trust. We start, faith is like an invisible link between mortality and immortality. Somehow we are connected to the deeper self inside us through the transmission with Master. With this faith and trust, we start becoming more and more courageous. We start taking more and more bolder steps. Then comes another next chapter. Now we have got this connection. Can we keep this connection permanent? Right? That is where the nature's law, effort leads to effortlessness. We make effort. And in this effort, what is happening? This effort doesn't seems to be making effort, it's effortless. This connection remains always in our subconscious. It's present. It's like riding a wave deep inside us, which is pushing us towards the source. What happens? So, till now, we have been Philosophy is thinking, yoga is doing. Now, slowly comes the undoing, the realization part. How do we change? The first is the heart region. The heart starts vacuumizing. We don't go behind likes and dislikes. We are ready to yield. And then we move on to the mind region, the next chapter. Within the mind region, the I-ness drops. We are no longer holding ourselves to any other identity. We are ready to yield. We are ready to let go of. We are ready for surrender. Now, when we are surrendered in the beautiful state of Sharanagati, we don't have any demands left. It's like participating in the universal time when Lord Krishna said, Aham Kalosmi, I am the time. We participate in that divine world, and that's the beautiful Sharanagati. So the heart gets vacuumized, we are yielding, and the divine flow starts coming into our hearts till we merge into the same condition, and that's the last chapter of transmission of center. And Daji writes very beautifully. God realization is possible for anyone who has craving and interest, who practices sincerely and authentically with the help of Master of Caliber. So that's how these 10 chapters they come together. Beliefs create that openness, journey and destination, openness to transform. The attitude creates the readiness with this openness, love and support creates the pull of the master. Method, we sincerely and authentic in training. Building trust and faith develops the faith, and this constant connection helps us to go beyond heart, mind, and the central region. That's how I see, Tanya, how beautifully it's like a necklace of pearls woven all around us. And I'm sure you are reading, you will see each necklace, you pull the whole garland and the necklace
Yeah,
coming.
like you very beautifully mentioned, like openness is required and interest is required, and that's all about it takes for us to initiate ourselves on this or introduce ourselves on the spiritual journey. But like you, it's also mentioned in the book. We are human beings having a spirit. We are humans having a spiritual existence, and also the other way around. We are spiritual beings living a human existence, right? So, like you mentioned, we have to rise above our likes and dislikes, the lows and the highs. But how does one do that? You mentioned openness, and I understand that it's very beautiful to hear these things. But at the same time, as human beings who are living our everyday human life, the lows can sometimes get to you. And especially the background that I come from, meditation has helped me a lot. I think it's been my crutch that comes in handy whenever I need it. And I was born into a family where we always meditated and we always practiced heartfulness meditation. But somewhere along the way, I lost my path. And because obviously, as with most things that are just handed down to you do not realize their worth, right?
Yeah.
And then heartfulness found me again. And I'm so grateful because I think it found me when I needed it the most. But I'm still on this journey, and this part where you said rising above your likes and dislikes, the pain and miseries, it's it comes it comes with learning and with experience. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I know Daji mentions this beautiful thing about cleaning on an everyday basis at the end of your day. But what does cleaning exactly mean? Could you please maybe like share with us your thoughts?
Yeah. So that's a very valid point, I think. And I think a serious seeker, I mean, if you see in the book, Daji has given a lot of attitudes which we need to inculcate, and all of them, they are beautiful. The one which stands out is letting go.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, uh, if we are totally mesmerized with our goal, right? If you are totally fallen in love with our goal, that comes priority one. If that is priority one, everything else seems very easy, right? Now, the what how does this transformation work? What I have little understood, the whole nature is working, I feel, on one principle: to purify ourselves. Anything which we are holding off, which creates a roadblock, will be removed, will be taken off. Now, this principle of letting go beautifully converts that pain into a step towards success. I remember a line, it says, when you accept pain, pain
Yeah.
disappears. It's not the pain which is a problem, it's the rejection of that particular condition which is coming next is a problem. But believe me, it's like the paradox which Daji writes. A seed is about to come out, and the shell was there to protect it. But if the seed has to come and blossom into a flower, the shell has to break. Now, the breaking of the shell, which is very, very needed at some point of time, is now no longer needed. What call we want to make? Because a caterpillar doesn't know
It's about
the beauty of butterfly, but caterpillar has to leave the disposition of caterpillar, then only it will become butterfly. Now, this Kalpana Shakti is only given to human beings. We can protect our evolution. A caterpillar cannot protect its evolution to butterfly,
yeah.
but we can do that. We can stop it. We can, and that's where I think the purpose of life is. The purpose of life is, of course, the bliss and joy, but life is movement, change, and evolution. It always keeps moving.
Yeah.
In this movement, there is change. So A becomes B. B and A are different, but in this change, there is evolution. B is always better than A. And how do we know this is better than A? Because at point B, we'll be more peaceful, pure, calm, centered. So it's again goes back to, I think we need to, see our life principles, because Krishna may be there, but we need Arjun to have eyes to see that. Krishna was there for both Arjun and Duryodhan, but only Arjuna was able to change, not Duryodhan, right? Uh, so this idea of letting go and cheerful acceptance. If we truly believe we are on the right path, let's try a little bit of experiment and see. And that's why, beauty about is this system has some natural aids like transmission, a process like cleaning, which is like a 24/7 vaccination in us against these what to say, malwares.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Like Daji is very beautifully put. With with this practice of heartfulness, or in this system especially, you are the experiment, you are the experimenter, and you're also the final result. So you get to see all the stages of what this journey can entail of. And that, I think, like what you said was absolutely right. It's only human beings who can actually also get in our own way of evolution, right? Because sometimes the pain can feel too much, and you feel like, okay, maybe beyond this pain there is nothing else. Because at that given point, all you can experience is the pain, and we forget that there is a bigger picture at hand, and beyond this pain there is something much more beautiful maybe. But at that given point, the circumstances feel so heavy to bear, which is why I think I seek my shelter. I seek my refuge in these practices that are handed down to us. I think cleaning, especially for me, has become a huge part of my routine, where at the end of the day, I just sit down for a few minutes with my own self. And like Darji has talked about it in this book, zero emotional footprint. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought that was just such a brilliant way of putting it, because in the day-to-day life we accumulate a lot of impressions, we accumulate a lot of memories, and we with those memories we associate different emotions, right? And the more we think about it, the deeper the impression gets rooted. So
yeah, yeah.
cleaning, I think, is definitely a very important part of it for me. And now Daji's talked about it so much, like at length in this book as well. So, zero emotional footprint. Coming back to
Yes.
it, what do you?
That's a beautiful thing, and uh, the the beauty about this book, and besides the content, the arrangement of chapters. It's not like one full read; it's a conversational style,
Exactly.
and each chapter builds on to the story, and it is very easy, digestible, read. So, zero emotional footprint, and what Daji has given in this book is, say, pollution, right? What is pollution? If you see in Delhi, there is a big AQI thing going on. It's because the quality of air, which is nitrogen and oxygen. So carbon monoxide is added, nitrogen oxide is added. So that creates a difference into the quality of air, and that is not helpful for us. So anything which changes from its original condition, by addition or by subtraction, is not fit. It becomes polluted, right? So with this idea of pollution, that means the natural condition is not
Disturbed.
there, so disturbed, right? Now, what is our natural condition? Our natural condition is into the state of that contentment, of peace in us, and that is what we are actually seeking. That is why this system is, I think, called Sahaj Marg, because it creates a natural condition in us. We are most stable in our natural condition. Unnatural condition can be money, but the natural is only one. The quality of air, the perfect condition is only one. The pollution can be many. Now, the zero emotional footprint, what it says is, we are going behind zero carbon footprint. That means pollution of air should stop, and we should restore the original form of air. Zero emotional footprint means the way I live, not only I'm not being a roadblock to my spiritual evolution, I'm not creating any impression on others for their spiritual evolution. I'm having a life which is just resonating with the nature. I'm having a life which is not creating any impression on me or the environment around me, right? It's not either changing the environment based on my needs and demands, or not changing me based on my likes and dislikes. And that's why Daji says, if we are having life with moderation, right? In Hindi we say, "Sant wo hai jisme santulan ho." Beautifully, they have crafted the word santulan, a balance.
Ji.
I am not the whole. One idea is you have to be extreme to be better, but the theory is you have to be balanced to be happy. You don't need to go to extreme to be happy. If you are balanced in a condition, the happiness is inherent. A zero impression is inherent. So moderation of our lifestyle creates that zero footprint, where we are not disturbing ourselves, we are not disturbing others, and we are just flowing in a very natural state. So the lifestyle should be there. Special attention to, say, our lifestyle, a gentle and sweet language. If you see, Daji has given very, very important focus on heartful communication, a courteous dealing filled with empathy and compassion, respect for others, a forgiving nature. Now, if we create these habits willingly, controlling our natural response, which is to react or respond immediately, there is moderation which comes into our nature. The moment we start getting that moderation, now we are coming to a natural zero emotional footprint state. We start falling in love because now we are rotating at a speed in which we are naturally born with. And once we start allowing this conformity with nature, this becomes the essence of spirituality, right? Now we are balanced, santulan, that moderation is there. The way I talk, the way I respond, the way I speak, the way I think, there is perfect moderation. And that creates the zero emotional footprints.
जी जी like I think जैसा भी आपने कहा it reminded me what Daji has also mentioned in the book कि um, a seeker or a person in osmosis with heartfulness, I would like to say maybe right now, will not have sharpness in their tongue. And when there is no
Mhm.
sharpness in the tongue, there is no sharpness in the thought. वो किसी को वो
Yes.
कटाक्ष नहीं करेगा. और एक बात कहने के बहुत सारे तरीके होते हैं, उसको उसको बहुत सारी टोन्स में कहा जा सकता है, बहुत सारे अलग अलग लफ्ज़ों में कहा जाता है। तो हार्टफुलनेस कम्युनिकेशन इज़ ऑल अबाउट कम्युनिकेटिंग फ्रॉम द हार्ट, वेयर there is no previous, no prior preconceived notion, no prejudice, no biases, but just a deep longing to communicate and to actually connect. So that I think is a beautiful thing. And I think going back to what you said, जैसे कि आपने कहा कि बहुत ही सुंदर माला में पिरोए गए ये chapters, जहाँ पे एक एक chapter is a pearl of wisdom, I would like to say, where you can talk about the practices that we have, meditation, cleaning, prayer, or be it about the zero emotional footprint that we are talking about. Coming back to cleaning, which I think has been very very important for me, uh, I would love to, जैसा आपने कहा था कि impressions, number one impressions, मैंने इससे पहले कभी सुना ही नहीं था ये शब्द before starting
Right.
journey. Could you maybe expand on that?
Yes. So it's like this. Okay. You start a day. You're fresh. आप एकदम fresh हैं. And then you go around, you talk, आपने घर में बात की, you went to your shoot, people are saying something, you did well, you didn't do well, you come back in the house, then again there is something which has not been done. So a beautiful person in resonance who got up in the morning, उसके साथ शाम को क्या हुआ? He's the same person. What happened to him? He wanted to be the same person, but lot of things which has happened during the day, it has affected the mental impressions. तो वो सारी चीजें जो उनके ऊपर घटनाएं हुई, उसकी एक छाप आपके मानसिक स्तर पर पहुंच गई. उसी छाप को इंप्रेशन बोला गया. जब वो छाप पड़ गई तो जैसे आप सुंदर व्हाइट ड्रेस में बाहर निकले, थोड़ी धूल, थोड़ा ये, थोड़ा वो, शाम को आए तो वो ड्रेस उतनी सफेद नहीं थी. फिर क्या हुआ? आप उसी ड्रेस को पहन के सो गए. आपने उसी में सपने देखे. थोड़ा सा वो और सफेद नहीं रही, थोड़ा सा और काली हुई. अगले दिन उसी थोड़ी सी काली ड्रेस को आप फिर से शुरू किया. वो और काली होती गई, उसमें और भी सफेदी कम होती गई. 3-4 दिन बाद आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि आपके पास सफेद ड्रेस थी. क्यों नहीं पता चलेगा? वो आप ही की थी, वो आपका डर था. इतने सारी छापें पढ़ने के बाद वी स्टॉप आइडेंटिफाइंग आवरसेल्व्स विद द प्योरिटी इन अस. ना था कुछ तो खुदा था, ना होता कुछ तो खुदा होता, डुबोया मुझको होने ने, ना होता मैं तो क्या होता.
Oof! Wow! 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 Wow!
Yeah, Mirza Ghalib. So, so the beauty about this is this idea. We hold on to these identities. I can say, Tanya ji, you are a very beautiful actress. या मैं कह सकता हूँ कि तान्या जी आपने आज अच्छा नहीं किया. Now your next moment is not driven by who actual Tanya is. Next moment is driven by a good actress or a bad actress or a good interviewer or a bad response or whatever. But actually that's not Tanya, right? So these are the beautiful things which are happening. The more we judge others, the more we judge ourselves, the more we hold on. These are all holding off. These are the chains. We had a heartfulness session in prison in my last trip to Odisha. एंड वी टोल्ड देम कि देखिए आप जेल में हैं, आपके पास बेड़ियां हैं, मगर जो जेल के बाहर है उसके पास भी बेड़ियां हैं. मानसिक बेड़ियां, द मेंटल chains which we are having, right? The chain which didn't allow Duryodhan to see Krishna, the same chain we identify with one identity. So these are impressions. Now अगर कोई ग्रॉस चीज, अगर आपकी जमीन में कोई चीज गिर जाए तो आप उसको ग्रॉस चीज से हटाते हैं, मतलब आपने झाड़ू से हटा दिया, वैक्यूम से हटा दिया. मगर where are these impurities lying? They are lying in the subtlest form, and that's why in heartfulness we have cleaning, which removes all these impressions from us every day. So by evening we come back from office or from my work and we clean ourselves. So we are again the same person who left in the morning. right? So the whole day impressions is cleaned off, and then I start my day on the fresh. So it's like I'm allowing myself not to be impacted by the viruses which were trying to get into my day, right? Because man jo hai, and that's why if you see the way book builds itself, right? Ultimately, it's the constant connection, राइट अगर वो कनेक्शन हमारे पास अपनी आइडेंटिटी का रियलिटी का हमेशा मौजूद नहीं है इट इज वेरी इजी टू गेट लॉस्ट एंड क्रिएट दीज इंप्रेशंस so I think this is one of the most fundamental and as you have rightly said the biggest difference in different systems it is how to become purer but in our system is one more step is added how to clean ourselves to help us become purer
That's very
अदरवाइज नॉलेज तो रावण के पास भी थी नॉलेज तो सबके
बिल्कुल
पास थी
जी बिल्कुल। और जैसे कि बहुत ही एक सुंदर लाइन लिखी है यहाँ पे जो मैंने मार्क करी थी, nostalgia and trauma both sides of the same coin. Nostalgia is often a lovely feeling, but trauma is something that can cripple us. Both can keep us tied to the past and unhappy in the present, which I think
yes
what you जैसे आपने बिल्कुल कहा कि वो सफ़ेद ड्रेस मेरी खुद की थी और मैं उसको पहचान ही नहीं पाऊंगी क्योंकि मैं कहीं और के छाप अपने साथ लेके चल रही हूँ।
exactly
और I think removing impressions can also जैसा आपने कहा था कि it helps us to return to our natural self, which in turn I think is taking us to a higher, like elevating us to do our best today in the now. And I think there is something very beautiful that Daji says कि spirituality is not about trying to run away from something. Spirituality is about seeking multiple things in the same goal because मेरे बहुत सारे goals हैं and I often judge myself and a lot of people question me कि यार you say you're a spiritual seeker and all of these things so how can you have these as a materialistic goals या career goals or anything and I think about it I question myself कि अच्छा what they're saying क्योंकि यही कहा सुना आ रहा है आज तक कि अगर आप spirituality seek कर रहे हैं तो आपको मोह छोड़ना पड़ेगा आपको माया छोड़नी पड़ेगी correct
yes
but Daji, on the other hand, has always told me कि if you can make 1 million, make 10 million instead, but be on the right path. And that path of righteousness, I think I would love to ask you about it because of with the background that you come from, you have been working in the industry for so long, for 28 years now, and at very senior administrative positions. You have you have your career goals, you have your spiritual goals. So, what is your success formula?
yeah. I think if I can say one answer to it, you know, it may seem very easy or very difficult. Both it is master, but I'll tell you, I'll tell you how it happened. See, जैसे प्यार किया नहीं जाता हो जाता है, वैसे ही मेडिटेशन किया नहीं जाता हो जाता है. जब आप देखिए, when we pray, okay, हमने एक बार प्रेयर की, ओके, कि हे नाथ तू ही मनुष्य जीवन का वास्तविक ध्येय है. अगर इसके कहने में वो सच्चाई है, मुझको हो ये यकीन कि तेरी नजर है मुझ पर, इतना ही काफी नहीं कि सजदा किया मैंने. अगर आप सिर्फ ऐसे मैकेनिकल प्रेयर कर रहे हैं कि हे नाथ तू ही मनुष्य जीवन का वास्तविक ध्येय, तो फिर वो आपके साथ नहीं रहेगा. लेकिन एक बार आपने दिल से प्रे कर दिया, इंटरेस्ट कि साहब बस, इवन इफ इट इज एक्सपेरिमेंट, इवन इफ इट इज आई एम नॉट ट्रू, बट एक बार मैंने सच्चाई से 10 सेकंड के लिए मान लिया कि तू ही मनुष्य जीवन का वास्तविक थे, तब आप देखिए कि कैसे आपके चारों ओर का धर्म क्षेत्र, हाउ द ब्यूटिफुली द लाइफ अराउंड यू स्टार्ट्स चेंजिंग. सहज मार्ग is not a piecemeal affair. It is not only when we close eyes we are connected, or we are doing cleaning or meditation. The eyes of our great masters and all the elders are always in us, but they are there to help us reach the goal in the shortest possible time. And during that, whatever is needed for us will be done. If it needs to change my job, it will be done. If I need more money, I'll be done. That's why should I earn money? To reach you. Why should I read this book to reach you? Why should I have food to reach you? Why should I have this conversation to reach you? The moment that bigger goal encompasses all these smaller tributaries of my goal, you will see a beautiful divine life coming in our way. The life which is designed by our great masters for us. The life which is created step by step, the destiny which he is creating for us. Now, in this case, we feel that we are doing it and they are not aware of it. But everything is designed so perfectly. It needs is one act of faith. So my secret formula is this full faith in its absolute sense and a cheerful acceptance of life. And believe me, for past 28, 29 years, it has never failed even for a second. For
Absolutely.
past 12, 15 years, I have never given any resume to anyone. It happens naturally around me.
Yeah.
So that's the shortest path, right? The bhakti marg. The other part is, you know, your interest. If you are seriously interested, now interest can be generated in many ways. It can be either I am fallen in love with you, I am interested, or the other way. I tried this, it is not working. I tried this, it is not working. I tried this, it is not working. I tried everything, but still it is not giving me that sense of contentment and peace. I'm trying to hold something to find that peace, but still that peace is not there. So I go through a longer route of doing all this, or I do a shorter route. But this life is meant to purify us. The moment we have that definition in our head, lot of these troubles will drop off.
This Darjeeling Kai, the success formula that he's given is like you said, faith, will, and confidence. So once
Yes.
you've chosen a path and you have the faith that okay, this is the path that I want to set out on, you've got to have confidence in yourself, and everything will fall into place for you. You
Yes.
just have to let the divine master, the ultimate, do their thing. So often, again, coming back to it, we get in our own way of जैसे हमारी प्रेयर में है कि हमारी हम अपनी इच्छाओं के गुलाम हैं जो हमारी उन्नति में बाधक है और ये इतनी सुंदर है क्योंकि हमारी इतनी सारी इच्छाएं हैं हमें लगता है कि अच्छा हमें इस मोमेंट के लिए आज ये चाहिए वो चाहिए वो चाहिए बट द डिवाइन हैज अ बिगर प्लान फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस लाइक आई रिमेंबर before I even thought of wanting to become an actor, I was planning on like applying for my higher studies in Australia. And I had written to Daji कि I'm going for my masters and everything because at that time all of my friends and all of my siblings were going away and but I'd also asked him कि do you think that is the path that I should go on to or is it am I doing it because everybody around me is doing it and he said I would like serving your parents is the bestest way that you can like serve and serve your life's purpose so I would suggest that but obviously me being a rebellious kid I said no I'm going to do what I have set out to do and I applied for my masters, got in, everything happened. I couldn't go. I got the opportunity for a lifetime over here because I got admitted, like I got accepted into something that I wanted to shoot for. Never thought I could. But yeah, and my life took a turn and then I years later, like that year after I had finished shooting, I wrote to Daji again that you will always have your way.
Yes.
And he just laughed and he said, this is not me doing anything, this is the master's will. And yeah, I mean it is absolutely right. I don't know how the divine works. It works in mysterious and beautiful ways. And you've got to have an open attitude. You've got to
Yes.
be able to experience what life has to offer to you. Because if you अगर आप अपने उस वो शेल में बंधे रहोगे दुनिया को इतना कुछ है देने के लिए आपको पर आप ले ही नहीं पाओगे क्योंकि आपने अपनी सोच को ही लिमिट कर दिया है बट
Exactly.
yes thank you so much भैया yes you were
Thank
saying
you.
something.
No, what I was saying is, is beautiful that there is a share which comes to my mind. It says, it's from one of the Qawwalis. It's ilallah ki sharab ko nazar se pila diya. I mean, the intoxication of spirituality is coming through the eyes. ilallah ki sharab ko nazar se pila diya. मैं एक गुनहगार था सूफी बना दिया. The beauty of, once we start feeling the presence, whatever is not needed in us will automatically drop off, right? इल्ला की शराब को नजर से पिला दिया, मैं एक गुनहगार था सूफी बना दिया, सूरत में मेरे आ गई सूरत फकीर की, ये नजर मेरे पीर की, ये नजर मेरे पीर की. So the potential which we have left unexplored, till we start opening ourselves, and that's the first chapter of the book. Slowly open ourselves, see what is happening around. And if you're watching this beautiful webinar, maybe this is the time when the time has come.
Yeah,
Read the chapter, see how it goes, experiment itself. We are doing so many experiment anyways in life, right?
absolutely.
Try this one, and see how beautifully it flowers. The potential, the seed which we have as human beings, blossom into a beautiful flower.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Fulfillment, I think,
Yes.
is something that can definitely come through this practice. And yeah, if you were looking for a sign to start meditation or meditating, this is your sign. We'll all be meditating on 21st of December for World Meditation Day. Millions of us will be joining Kamlesh D. Patel Daji for World Meditation Day. Please join us for this beautiful sitting where millions of hearts are coming together to vibrate for the universe's betterment. And yes, brother, any last thoughts before we end this conversation?
No, nothing. Thank you, Tanya. It's a great talking to you, and thanks for taking time for all of us. And my prayers and best wishes. 21st of December, 8 p.m. Let's participate. It's like I often think जब पुराने जमाने में बड़े हवन हुआ करते होंगे, right? उस हवन में कोई अपना छोटी सी आहुति डाल देता है. वैसे ही हम लोग को कल्पना करना चाहिए कि when big things are made, it doesn't come like breaking news and breaking news. It comes subtly in this environment around us. So think this meditation day, हम अपनी छोटी सी आहुति कैसे डाल सकते हैं by participating yourself, inviting your friends and families to participate in this one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you.